So we are at ATL, and we just went through TSA Pre and ABCDEFG. And all
You better turn around or you're gonna lose.
I'm running out of road. Alright, so we arrived in Michigan, Grand Rapids, and
turn right on 28th Street Southeast.
Got our rental car. It's a brand new rental car, which is kind of rare these days, because usually you get them, they got 60,000 miles on them and smell like dead feet. And we are driving to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan tonight.
We're going to the Upper Peninsula, but it's gonna be dark, so we'll see you in the morning. Good morning. We are here in Michigan, in Sault Ste. Marie, which is in the Upper Peninsula, and we made it. It was really late last night. Look behind me and you can see the bridge behind me, and that is actually the bridge to Canada. So Kevin and I actually grew up here in Sault Ste. Marie, and so we've spent a lot of time here, but there's, I don't know, well, it really doesn't look that much different.
Yeah. There's some neat things about it, and definitely if you've never been here, it is a unique vacation destination.
100%. Like Michigan is has the Great Lakes, so isn't it known like the state of lakes or something like that?
Well, it's the Great Lakes state, so.
Yeah, the Great Lakes state. So I read yesterday that in any one point in Michigan, you're like 85-ish miles from the Great Lakes at any point, no further than that, which is kind of cool. There's tons of hiking, there's tons of things to do here if you're an outdoor person. We're gonna spend some time with family, and we're also gonna show you some of the cool places that we think you should visit if you come to northern Michigan. And we're also gonna be doing some stuff in southern Michigan. I always say southern Michigan.
Lower Peninsula.
We're also gonna be doing some stuff in the Lower Peninsula as well. Specifically, we're going to Sleeping Bear Dunes, which is a place I visited in my childhood, and I have great memories from there. So we'll share some of these great memory places.
Oh, and behind me there are the Soo Locks. They're also building what's called a super lock, which is designed for really, really large boats. I'd like to see cruise lines actually come up on the lakes, but we'll see.
So the first stop is the Soo Locks, and the Soo Locks, as you can see behind me, and it allows boats to go in and out of what?
Well, there used to be rapids here, so there's a 26-foot drop between Lake Superior and Lake Huron. So the locks, the boat's able to come into a lock, and then they release the water up and bring it down to the level. Same way on the way up, it can come in, they increase the water level, close the lock, bring it up to the level. So it's just a way to go back and forth without having to go up rapids.
So my dad actually worked for the locks for 30 years. So we spent a lot of time here when we were kids because we have one car. And so we had to always drop him off at work, and we had to pick him up at work. And so we spent a lot of time. Behind me, you can see the fountain. Now at one time, this was all open, and you may be able to, I'm sure you can get in here if you go through one entry point now, but this was all open and you could move in and out freely. But after 9/11, of course, that all changed. But you can see this fountain behind me. So, quick story, when I was a kid, this fountain had a fence, a metal fence all the way around it, and I decided that I really wanted to get into the fountain, so I stuck my head between the metal fence so I could see. I wanted to see all the pennies that were thrown into the fountain, and I got my head stuck, and we couldn't get it out. My mom couldn't get it out. She had to go and get help from the people that worked at the Corps of Engineers at the Soo Locks. Good times. So one of the things when you're coming here, you can visit the Soo Locks. It's beautiful. You get to watch, you can see some of the huge, huge boats coming through the locks.
So coming through the locks right now is the Paul R. Tregurtha, which is actually one of the 1,000-foot freighters that comes through here, it's going through the second lock, which is called the Poe Lock, and it's the only 1,000-foot lock we have up here, and that's why they're building the new super lock, so that if this was ever to go down, they can still transport because the 1,000-footers won't fit in the other areas.
You can enjoy the grounds, have a picnic here.
And you can even go on the Soo Locks boat tours where you actually get on a boat and they take you through the locks, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, so make sure you put this on your list of things to do in northern Michigan.
I got a whiskey toffee cone in a waffle cone, so I'm looking forward to taking a bite.
We are here and going to eat at one of our very favorite places to eat, Clydes Drive-In. You can get fantastic burgers and fries, and the views from, you can hang out in the park or you can sit in your car. The views are phenomenal. Good morning. We are up really super early this morning, like 4 something this morning, because we are about to leave the Upper Peninsula, Sault Ste. Marie, and we have a full day planned today. We're going to be hitting some key things that we find really fun in Michigan, and that is we're going to be hitting some bridges, we're going to be hitting some beaches, and we're going to be hitting some sand dunes. We are at the beautiful St. Ignace Beach. You can see for miles, it seems like, of just beach. It's gorgeous. Look at the water behind us. It is so clear and beautiful out here. I'm also gonna say there are some massive looking bugs out here that are all around us. So that's one thing when you're up in Michigan, the bugs can be pretty intense, but the air seems so
Clear and clean and just fresh.
It's beautiful.
And it's so cool in the morning because you're surrounded by water. This is Lake Michigan, so the temperature is probably 55 degrees right now in the morning, so it's crisp, but you can see the lake is just like a sheet of glass.
We didn't see any Starbucks or anything like that, so we stopped at a gas station called the Holiday Coffee, and they have fresh ground coffee with all of the fixins.
Yeah.
That was a good surprise.
It was. All right, so that is the shores of Lake Michigan and St. Ignace Beach. So behind me is the Mackinac Bridge. Now the Mackinac Bridge, when you look at it, you think, well, that kind of looks like the Golden Gate Bridge. Yeah, it's actually very similar in a lot of ways to the Golden Gate Bridge, only a little bit bigger. It connects the Lower Peninsula of Michigan with the Upper Peninsula, and I believe it was completed in 1957. So before that, if you wanted to go between the peninsulas, you actually had to get on a ferry. It takes a complete year to paint the Mackinac Bridge. So they start at one end, they work their way across and they paint it, and then when they get to the other end, they turn around, they go back and they do it again.
I always had a bit of a fear about driving across the Mackinac Bridge because of the fact that it seemed so high, and I felt like the wind, if it was really windy, could blow you right off the Mackinac Bridge. But I think that there's only actually been like one car or one car that's actually gone over the side.
Yeah,
is that
and it was actually a Yugo years ago when they came out with those cars, and it really didn't have so much to do with the car. It was a small car, light car, but it was going way too fast for conditions in a high wind situation, and it jumped the rail. And
those of you who know me know that I will never be going too fast for conditions, ever. Maybe too slow.
Pretty cool.
Right across from the Upper Peninsula is Mackinac City, which is a cute little city that has a lot of tourist kind of shops, a cute little area downtown, if you will.
There's hot dog places, and then there's Wienerlicious. So we're gonna find out how delicious Wienerlicious is. I got my wiener at Wienerlicious.
Okay, so one thing that is really, that if you have time to do if you're here, is take a ferry over to Mackinac Island. It's kind of a whole day kind of thing that you want to do if you have the ability to do that. But Mackinac Island is an island that does not have cars on it. Horses and carriages and bikes, and it's a beautiful island. The Grand Hotel is on Mackinac Island, which is from the movie that I love, one of my favorites, Somewhere in Time. So you want to take the opportunity to do that if you have time. This is literally just on the side of the road. Not even like a big major attraction. It's just the side of the road.
Settle for second best, scared to risk what the future might bring. What the future might bring. I hold my breath, waiting for someone to knock at my door, telling me there is more waiting for me.
We're between Petoskey and Traverse City, and we are following the shoreline down, and it is so pretty. How come I didn't know about this place all my years of living here? I don't know. I guess I stayed very close to, I guess we stayed right in Sault Ste. Marie most of the time. And this is phenomenal. This is another roadside park, just off the road randomly, this beautiful lake. You can hear the loons in the lake. It's amazing.
I love the sound when the loon calls. We used to live out on Lake Superior, and we would have loons in the evening and in the morning that would call, and it's just a hauntingly beautiful sound.
We are now headed to Sleeping Bear Dunes. When I was a little girl, we went there, my sisters and I, my mom and dad. The dunes tower 450 feet above Lake Michigan with phenomenal views. So I'm super excited to go there today. Kevin's a little bit nervous.
I'm not nervous, I just don't like walking through sand.
You said you were nervous.
I'm nervous.
All right.
Somewhere above the water, my lungs are tied. I'm running for a long time. My feet got blisters, but maybe I belong.
We did it. We made it all the way.
There's too many bugs right here.
No, wait, we made it all the way. We did the dune climb, which was what, like there's a lot of bugs here. 1 3/4 miles or something.
Yeah, it felt like more like 25 because you were all walking through sand up and down hills.
Definitely felt like it was 423 miles, but I do believe that it was 1 mile 3/4, and it was strenuous, and I agree with it. It was strenuous, but the end result was beautiful. We ended up on the Lake Michigan, gorgeous. Can't say enough how beautiful Michigan is, and how many great places there are to visit. And now I'm hungry.
Yeah, and the 1 3/4 miles is there. Then you got 1 3/4 miles back, and it's very strenuous. It is.
I think I'm getting some little tidbits of bugs in my mouth, but that's not enough for me right now.
If I hack up a bug ball, it's okay.
Let's get some lunch.
Let's get some lunch. We're gonna get some lunch and be free.
Be free. This is the end of our long weekend Michigan adventure. So here's the thing. Sometimes you think you know everything about everything, like I did about Michigan. And then you find out that there is so much more to know than what you thought you knew. So get out there, have an adventure, look for the unexpected in what you think you know, and be free. It's time for us to go home. And there's a lot of cars.
There's a lot of cars.
There's a lot of traffic for a little
A lot
place.
of traffic.
You want to go to Canada?
Let's go to Canada.
Bridge from the
And it connects the lower peninsula.
Quit.